Guys, welcome back to a brand new video. My name's Simon down here at JD Golf Academy at Drayton Park Golf Club, and today we're going to be talking about what blade are you. But before we get into that, small injury at the moment. Been doing a lot of training for my long drive, and left shoulder's not playing ball at the moment, so it's going to be a few 50% swings. I'm still swinging at like 95 miles an hour with an iron, so we're not necessarily not hitting it at all, but yeah, a few slower swings today, trying to ease myself back in. As well as that, I'm off on my stag do in Prague this weekend with the boys, so if you don't see any content from this channel in the future, you know that I haven't come back. Now, Mizuno Mp-18 range. Now I'm calling this video what blade are you? Mainly because the Mp-18, for them, they try and keep it for the purist. Someone that wants a clean cut iron that they look down at, no gimmicks, no spill, just does the job, Japanese forged metal. Now, obviously the other three clubs aren't blades. They look like blades, but they're not blades. They're not just a single piece metal iron that you would say or constitute as a blade. However, they try to go down the same feel, the same look, and it'd be so for some of these players that necessarily used to play a blade or maybe needs a bit more help with distance. The other interesting fact that I find, especially with the Mizuno range, is that actually they don't really alter, well, especially with the MP range anyway, the lofts. So a lot of manufacturers between club to club going to go from one range that has a lot of loft. They'll then have another range at the very end, the cavity backs that are decreasing by 5 and even 6 degrees of loft, which is obviously going to hit the ball further, mainly because you're not hitting a 7-iron anymore, you're actually hitting a 5-iron or a 6-iron. So that's why I think it'd be a good fair test with the blades. So you've got the SC, you've got the MMC, and then you've got the Fly High, which is kind of their hybrid iron. But again, the interesting thing, the Fly High and the MMC, only 30 degrees, not 30 degrees, 28 degrees. When I get my facts straight, 28 degrees loft with their 6-irons. Mp-18 SC, 30 degrees. So not that much. So it'd be interesting to see height difference, spin rate, control, and distance as well with these clubs. So guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you've got an idea for a video going forward, what you want to see a comparison of, then let me know. We're on the GC quad. Everything is dotted up. I'm going to show you the other heads, quickly give you a bit of spill on that. We're going to hit them, test them. Let's go. Okay, so the first one in the range, Mp-18, the blade. Arguably the thing that makes Mizuno. Japanese forged metal, probably the sexiest looking blade out there on the market. Doesn't really change, doesn't really need to change, and it is there purely for your shot shaping. Now obviously center of gravity very close to the face because there's not much behind the club, so it's going to allow you to get that shot shaping, whether it's a draw, fade, high, low, whatever it is. This is what this club is designed for. So there's the Mp-18, and let me show you the Mp-18 SC. Okay, so the Mp-18 SC, which they call their player's cavity back. So obviously you've got a bit more weight behind the ball. Obviously not as much as you'd probably see in most traditional cavity backs. And again, if you sit it down on the ground, it looks pretty clean. It looks pretty clean, again, giving you that kind of blade looking feel as well. So you imagine the ball's going to go slightly more high and slightly a bit further with this club. But obviously we'll put that to the test in a second. So let's go and have a look at the MMC. Okay, MMC. So obviously the only difference now is that they've got these titanium tungsten weights in the back of it. So again, lowering that center of gravity, giving it a bit more weight, again, giving that feel. Again, more forgiveness, slightly higher ball flight. I'm going to guess, obviously I haven't hit all these clubs one after another, and again sitting quite nicely on the ground there. So I mean, you can't really tell much difference, I would say, in terms of profile and the way they look. There's not much between them really, so it's going to be really interesting to see what the kind of design, the idea and the thinking's gone into all of these clubs to see what it actually produces when I all give them a hit. Lastly, the MMC Fly High, which actually is probably Mizuno's 2-iron hybrid. Well, they call it actually that iron utility club, and you can buy these individually as well. Now ironically, you can't actually get the 6-iron. The 6-iron just purely comes for the custom fitting purposes, so obviously you can test them when my camera focuses, test them against everything else on the range there, but you can't actually get the 6-iron. I might be wrong, you might be able to get it in some other countries, but in the UK you can't get the 6-iron version. But this is 28 degrees again. you're seeing a pattern here. You're going from the start, more control, to the finish, more distance and forgiveness. Right guys, Mp-18, 6 iron. First one to be hit. I'm imagining this is going to be the shortest, but actually probably the lower penetrating ball flight out of a lot of them, even though highest lofted, well, same SC, same loft. The other two are slightly 2 degrees lower, but the CG is so much further forward in that club head. So we'll have a look. We'll see what we can produce out of these. I'll hit 3 shots with it. Hopefully do it some justice. Great strike. Love the feel when it comes out the middle. I would definitely be taking that. We could just end the video on that one as I've hit it straight down the middle. Slight fade playing at the moment, trying to protect the shoulder, not hit it too hard. And again, lovely feel. Oh, could almost mistake me for a golfer. Those two were lovely. Right, last one. Again, hopefully give it quite a good comparison. If I hit all of them, similar kind of distance and out the middle. Slightly slippy that one. That's just come out of my hands. Might need to go and whack a glove on. However, I think that's quite important to see. Even though it did slightly slip on my hands, the forgiveness obviously isn't there. So if I was to use one of the higher ones in the range, you'd probably see that ball would have gone a tiny bit further. I'd probably have a slightly less chip into the flag, or I might not be in the pot side bunker. I might actually be pin high on the green. So interesting to see. Obviously that's the downfall of these clubs, but when you hit them well and you're a consistent ball striker, penetrating ball flight. Okay, Mp-18 SC, slightly more forgiving, expecting probably a tiny bit more height, tiny bit more distance. Gloves on now, I've got no excuse. So if I did poorly now, it's purely down to my bad swing. Right. Tiny bit pulled, but again, great strike. See distance, good distance on it, but again, slightly pulled, so you can't really count that, as the club face would be a bit more closed at impact. That felt good. Love that. All the clubs feel good. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no question. Clubs feel decent. Softer off the club face, that sound. I mean, that's kind of what Mizuno pride themselves on. All forged, all can be manoeuvred, all can be bent quite easily if you did need to bend them or adjust them as you're using them for whatever reason. Again, solid strike. Could play that all day. Tiny bit hard, tiny bit further, and again you'll just see, even though slightly left to target, all of those are a touch further than obviously the Mp-18. So again, it'll be interesting to see the numbers in a minute when we go and video it. So SC done. Let's go and have a look at the MMC. Okay, Mp-18 Mmc Titanium Tungsten, the most expensive club out of the set. Not that much more, about £100 more on your 6 iron set. So yeah, it feels heavier, definitely in the touch. It doesn't look any bigger, however, from profile compared to the SC. Obviously the Mp-18 looked obviously the closest to a butter knife as you could possibly get it. But this one, again, still good. I can see why, if you're looking for a bit more distance, but you don't like the idea of a big cavity back, this could be a good choice for you. So let's see if I can get a decent strike on these. Rocket. Rocket. Still going, still hang time. And that is just jumped out of the pack. Dead straight, exactly where I wanted it. Probably the best one I've hit all day, to be fair. Lovely little strike. Let's have another go. I can see my club head speed slightly creeping up the more I'm getting warmed up, however. So that could be playing a part. Tiny bit more left that one, but again, solid strike. Towering height though, really towering. If I was to play that into a par 3, obviously you can play a knockdown shot. However, if you were to hit that in par 3 very high into wind, I could be losing a lot of distance with that. I could be losing quite a bit, having to guess a bit more if I had this in the bag. That's just horrendous golf swing. But we'll keep it in there. So that's gone massively left. Over-released. Horrible golf swing. Not happy with that one. That's the one that would be normally killing me on the golf course. But that's the MMC there with the 6-iron. So now we're going to go and use the fly high. Lastly, the MMC fly high. More weight, more tungsten, more titanium, centre of gravity, all the way back. So again, you're expecting this to go further than any others. I'd be quite happy, I think, to have this as a 2 or 3 iron in the bag. Not necessarily a 5 or 4, but it could be a good addition for someone. They're looking for that combo set to progress from the SC or the Mp-18 and up. I think if you're using the Mp-18, you could probably dip into the SC as you go up the irons, SC dip into the MMC, MMC to the fly highs, if that makes sense. So that's why it's so good to obviously get combo sets with Mizuno. So 3 decent swings. Let's see if we can get some decent shots. Great strike. Interestingly, it hasn't gone as far as I thought it was going to though. Hasn't gone far. High, it's definitely gone high. Spin rate's quite high. Let's hit another 2. Again, tiny bit left for me there, but not as far as the MMC, which is interesting. Club head speed's still up. Everything else like that. So that's interesting to see that it's not gone as far. Last one. Ooh, off balance. Off balance and to the right. Dispersion of those is awful. Dispersion wise, oh dear. Definitely feels heavier. Let's see if I'll hit one last one. Let's see if I hit last one, give it some justice to prove if it is me or the club. Most definitely me. Well, I couldn't hit that one much better in terms of strike and distance. But interestingly enough, hasn't gone as far as the MMC. So I think that's why it's such a big role when it comes to spin rate, shaft, everything else like that, to get the optimum out of your club. So let's have a look at the data. I'll show you guys what I've seen.
Okay, so if we look at the Mp-18, obviously they're the 2 blue dots. They're the ones that I didn't hit the furthest, but I quite like the feel and control and consistency of that. They're going to be the most high backspin shots, obviously most loft, centre of gravity is further to the club face. So you're going to get that kind of more control, but you see the off-centre hit, bam, lost a lot of distance. Whereas all the other dots, you can see all the other clubs, okay, but dispersion wasn't there. But in terms of like distance, especially like the MMC, all pretty much in the line. So if you're going at the green or going at the flag and you miss it, you're just green side, flag side, you're not short, you're not in the bunker. So it's trying to weigh up what you want to get out of your irons, really. So let's go and have a look at the stats. Most amount of backspin, obviously with the Mp-18, all the way, lowering the backspin all the way down. So that descent angle, if you have a look at these, for example, if you're trying to get close to those flags, you can see how high that club's coming into the ground, or the ball, I should say. Then it gets slightly further as we go down, and obviously further and further as we're hitting these shots. So obviously, if you want to try and go close to the flag, spin it close. These are the shot making clubs, but you have to hit them well all the way up to the other shots. So guys, I hope that gives you a bit of an idea in the difference between all 4 heads. Same shaft that I use. Hopefully I hit them well enough so you guys can see a bit of a comparison between all of them. Anyway, if you've got any questions, then obviously leave a comment below.
So guys, there you have it. There's my review on the Mizuno's Mp-18 range. Hopefully you found it interesting. Let me know what I could do better. Leave some comments below of what I could possibly do next. Now we actually have a Mizuno Demo Day coming down here at Drayton Park at JD Golf Academy next Thursday on the 10th of May. So it's free. If you want to book a slot, come down. You can get to test the irons if you want to. Get a 45-minute session, drivers, woods, whatever you like. I'll leave the details below. And yeah, guys, thank you ever so much for watching. Please subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.